whatever, Antigua, like all of them are looked at. Nobody questions their culture,
So
and the fact that we always have to answer our culture or is being
Defend it.
questioned by people that look like us, you know what I mean, is very disrespectful, and especially when we have built a unique culture within America. And I think, unfortunately, the media does a good job at portraying only the negative stereotypes. It's just like when we were growing up, the stereotypes that we seen of Africans was the flies on the face. I didn't have this, that, and the third. So that's what we saw. So of course we had a negative perception. But you know, we see as now 2025, 2024, we still seeing that narrative push that don't go to those Black Americans. They ratchet, they ghetto, they don't got no culture, which is just, to me, is very disrespectful. And it is a slap in the face, like as somebody who's Black American.
Let me ask you something. What country in Africa are you from?
I'm from America. That's what we're saying. Just like a Jamaica, just like no, hold on. Just like somebody from Jamaica, they're not going to say what country in Africa they from. Somebody in Haiti is not going to say what country from. They're going to say they're Haitian
because they were closer from what is it called, the triangular slave
but
trade.
But then when you ask them that question, they're not going to have a definitive answer.
That's because they're already in their own community of Caribbeans, the Haitians, Jamaicans. They're all like in one bowl. But
Black Americans are in their own bowl as well. Like that's what I'm saying. Why are we getting questioned?
That's why Africans feel that way, because they feel like because you don't know where you come from, which is not by fault by Africans.
We know where we come from. We come from America, just like Jamaicans
I guess it's just more,
come from Jamaica. Like, what is the difference?
I think it's just more relatable from an African to see another African and be like, oh, where you come from? Oh, I'm from Ghana. I'm from this place. And they know so much about their culture because they do this, and this. So I feel like that's why they feel like you know so much about your culture in Africa. So that's what they're like, well, Americans don't know, because honestly, you guys don't know. When Africans come to America, they're busting their behinds to get degrees, become doctors, lawyers, and stuff like that. So when Africans look at African Americans, they're like, these people have credit cards. We don't even have credit cards. These people are not even working, and we come here and we busting our asses. Now we're doing this. We're now six figures, and these people have all these years to become all these great jobs and careers, and they're not doing anything. I'm just saying this is what they're saying. Yeah, this is the conversation. It's like, y'all have all this time to get free money, free loans, and we don't get that back at home.
Yeah, but
y'all get that when y'all come here, though.
Exactly, and guess what? We're right here, and y'all are still here.
There's a lot of grants and.
Let's deal with that real quick. See, what people fail to realize and fail to understand in regards to that point is, they forget about the war on drugs or the crack epidemic. They forget to talk about the welfare state where they took fathers out of the home. They only look at it from the time that they've gotten here. They don't look at the historical problems and the oppressive ways of Jim Crow, or, like I said, the welfare state, the driving out of the fathers of the homes. They don't look at those things. See, culturally, in all the countries or islands they speak of, like the Caribbean, Jamaicans, and the African communities, they still had their fathers in those communities. Our women were incentivized to drive the men out of the household, which kind of like decimated our communities and family and put a damper on our identity. But let's continue.
Loans and different situations.
The people from here is not getting them loans that y'all come here and get them.
You said what you just said?
No, I said it's a lot of.
That's the point that they're proving. The people here are not even getting it. So it's like, what are y'all doing?
No, I'm saying the Black people here are not getting them same opportunities that y'all come from y'all Africa and come here and get. We don't get those.
Considering not just Africans, everybody, all the other countries are considering y'all as being lazy, because it's like, why aren't y'all getting these? Like, why y'all not busting y'all asses to? Y'all should be better than the Chinese. If y'all Americans, y'all should be better than America. Y'all should be better than Chinese people who coming over here.
But we. And the thing is,
my question is, what are the opportunities that you think that we have over?
That's different, right?
So, there's terms called "it takes a village," and let's be specific. Let's be real clear when I say that. When I say it takes a village, I really truly mean it takes a community to raise a child, to give that child their culture and their focus and their discipline for them to succeed. You know, see, another part of this that people fail to talk about is about the group homes, the criminal justice system. The criminal justice system, they don't come after affluent families or white. They don't police the white communities like they police the black communities. You know, there is and still is a system of racial profiling. There is a term that we use, which is DWB, which is driving while black. And you being a woman also, you mentioned earlier in the podcast how men like to keep women soft or to pacify women. They don't deal with the struggles and the challenges of a black man specifically. Men in general, but specifically black men. African American men are looked at as drug dealers. So we're hunted every day. I hate to use that term, but it's the truth. When the police see an African American boy, I'm talking about a teenager, they don't look at him like, oh, here's a kid. They look at him like a man or a threat. And they treat you as such. That's the unspoken racism. And later on, I'll touch base on about systemic racism, the unseen oppression that still takes place to this day.
The grants, the loans, the scholarships and
that
stuff.
we're getting more than you guys.
I don't understand what. No, I've never heard of anything.
Are y'all seeing what's going on with the immigrants right now and how the benefits that they're receiving? Yeah, are y'all aware of this right now?
The immigrants were here.
Yeah,
all of these immigrants
it's
are
all
coming
over.
into like
New
New
York,
York and
Chicago.
I've heard about
Are you aware
that.
of the benefits that they're getting right now?
I'm
The
not
free
aware.
hotels and the free EBTs and all of this
Getting
stuff.
$500 a week.
Wait, before you
per
continue.
person?
Immigrants, what immigrants are you talking about? Because we're
You talking about the Mexicans?
Yeah, because that's what I see. I see is like the Guatemalans. That's
The
what I'm seeing.
Venezuelan, yeah, like.
We're not talking about them right now.
But
We're talking about
immigrants.
but
like,
yeah, immigrants. But what you just said is that Africans are getting more opportunities than African Americans.
Africans, Caribbeans. Yes.
How?
We're not talking about the Venezuelans.
What do you mean,
right
how?
now. So how? Answer
How?
that question.
Immigrants. See, you can say African, but you're still an immigrant. You could say Venezuelans, they are immigrants. Jamaicans, they are immigrants. They are rolled out the red carpet right now. Men, women, and children. African American community never experienced that ever.
America is giving immigrants from other countries, more opportunities that they would give a black man specifically. If you look online, if you go online and search, we go online and search for grants and loans and everything specifically for black men. There's none.
And
But then that
NAACP
just
don't
shows-
have. They have plenty of awards and scholarships
And
for. And
That just shows you how America treats black people as a whole. It's America.
But that's the point we're trying to get to y'all. That the reason we're not as far as people come from other countries and get is because.
No, I'm sorry. No.
Again, there are scholarships and programs for the advancement of women. And if you don't know what the NAACP stands for, it's the National Coalition, basically for advancement of colored people. If you don't listen carefully. It's black and brown. It's black and brown. It's black and brown. Okay? But when you have an Asian bill, that is an Asian bill. My point that I'm making is they pull us all together and after decimating our families. Okay? Remember, divorce is skyrocketing here in America. So when I say it takes a village in a community, you got to look at the family first. When they talk about single mothers, that started and originated with the black African American single mothers in the 1960s. So now we're talking about over 60 years of that occurring in our communities.
No, this is not to be ignorant because you still haven't answered my question as to what us
You want to know
Africans-
the name
You
of
want
the
a
grant?
specific
Not even-
grant?
Like, I don't get what
not
you're
even
saying.
not even just that because
Yeah.
there isn't anything specific that
We're doing.
where we're receiving.
Yeah,
Deep-
but
MBE and WBE are specific programs, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Most people don't realize, even with affirmative action, the persons who benefited from those programs mostly were white women. And you don't understand why, because culturally the white women still had their men. And who owns most of the companies in America? Actually, who owns most of the companies globally? White men. So who is teaching these white women how to start their own businesses? White men. We're not given scholarships unless we play basketball. You know? Biggie said it right. He says either you sling and rock or you got a wicked jump shot. That's what they look at when they think of African Americans. And let me not start talking about the school system.
But
hold on.
Okay,
You have not pointed out any simple, direct way you can know that black people are lazy, but yet y'all can claim and give us that title. You don't know. You don't know that. This is what you
Chinese
heard.
people give y'all that title. It's
No.
not just American.
Africans as well. A lot of foreign
Yes,
people or
I
immigrant
agree.
people are doing that. We're not gonna cut the slack. Oh, it's everybody doing that shit to black Americans.
That is.
But do you
true.
know how hard it is? No, listen. Do you know how hard it is to leave your country, our home, Africa, wherever in Africa, to now even get a visa in itself is hard. It's not. It's
but
not.
why do
You know how hard it is to build America
We're not talking
for
about
free,
that right now, though,
for free,
my
and not to
dear.
get anything?
We're not-
Because you're
but-
only speaking from an
No,
African
no.
perspective.
But if it's so hard, why do
African-Americans
millions of
love
people
America.
do
Yes,
it
no, it's
every
fine.
day, every
But
year, every week, every
I
month?
don't want it to negate from what you're
What-
trying to say.
What
Listen,
what is
hold
the
on,
what is
sweetheart.
the shit that
No,
they give for school?
Scholarships.
Not the scholarships, but they had and they took away the rights recently.
affirmative action.
Affirmative action. Look, that's being spread between. That was just supposed to be for African Americans.
African-American.
See, that's the point. One of the biggest things I really want you guys to understand is, and this is the challenge that you're dealing with Africa. Let's be clear, it's underdeveloped. Africa has been exploited and decimated for its minerals, okay, and its riches. And it's been exploited by the same people that oppress African Americans here. They take your minerals, then they bring it over here. We shaped it. We made the stuff. We invented things. And they put a dollar sign on it and sold it and sell it to all of us. But I'm not here to talk about the systemic racism. What I'm speaking of today is one of the things that you must understand how important it is for families, fathers and mothers, grandfathers, aunts and uncles. See, when the family unit was still strong in America, we were able to thrive even through Jim Crow, even through slavery. Most people fail to realize there was a thing that was implemented, and it's still here. That's what redlining is. Redlining, okay? It's called the divide and conquer tactic. They still use it today. we having these arguments right now. That's a divisive tactic against Africans and African Americans. Okay, we are all supposed to be black, but you see the distinction and the definitive differences on how we look at each other. People fail to acknowledge and recognize how ingrained in culture that we highlight our differences instead of celebrating our similarities. Because we are humans, period.
And they just made that shit for the whole anybody.
But what
It's the government
I
thing.
don't want to
It's
happen
not
is
us.
I don't want no one to take away from the hard work that Africans are doing to get to where they are. We're not getting
We're not
anything
doing that.
free.
But
Well,
if you
nothing is
come here
free.
and you saying
Nothing is free.
disrespect to
Nothing is
African American,
easy.
look,
It's literally
look,
they're
can I ask y'all a question? Y'all know Hispanic people, right?
Mhm.
If a person doesn't know Spanish, but he's still considered Puerto Rican, right? Don't every Puerto Rican person still claim they're Puerto Rican? To any his, they're not. You American Spanish. They don't say that shit. But we got to hear from African people how we're not as black as they are because we were born in America.
Okay.
Yeah, I think when it comes to this conversation, it's just, like I said, it's very disingenuous to say Black Americans are lazy, especially when Black Americans are the reason why your family was able to leave your country and come to a better country and have a better opportunity. And we can't act like some Africans came here because their families were well off. Like, you know what I'm saying? So let's not act like every
But it's
family
not a
was
lie.
poor.
It's a very small
No, let's not act like every
percentage. The
family was
ones that
poor. They
the-
came over here like struggling.
It's
and,
Africa.
Like,
It's a
no.
third world country. This is a first world country.
yeah, you
so
have to- you
9
can't
times out of 10,
compare.
You know, there's a thing called the Ashanti tribe. Those people are not poor. Okay? You've heard of the Gold Coast. Okay? Land. Mines. Cobalt. Lithium. The list goes on and on. I made mention of the minerals that's being exploited. So the reason why Africa is underdeveloped is because the people that are puppets, to be for lack of a better term, running your countries are selling your minerals to the highest bidder, exploiting your minerals, and not developing their own people. That's why a lot of people come over. And then they send their kids over here to go to school over here, to get those degrees over here. But I'm not here to talk about that. What I'm just trying to say is we're so ingrained and embedded of us to be divisive and to divide us as a people instead of being united as a people. That's why it's easy to control the massive because of the divisive mindset and mentality. Men and women, light skin, dark skin, African, Jamaican, Haitian, you know? But nobody wants to talk about that right now. So I'm going to leave this video in this message that there's people called the oligarchs that are controlling billions of people, and they wouldn't be able to do it if we started thinking of ourselves as one. White, black, red, brown, purple, yellow, orange, and green. Meaning, we're still all one people. And the sooner we learn that, the better.